Welcome to another edition of Talking Sports and Fitness with Zeke. I'm Zeke, sometimes known as Mike Zielinski. My guest today is Reading Royals forward Matt Hatch. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
And as we tape this, Matt's having a tremendous year for the Royals. You're doing it all. You have like 4 goals in 10 games, and you're on the shutdown line. And you and your line mates, Joe Renkamp and Ian Waters, are a big reason why the Royals defense has been so outstanding. So how are you making it happen on both ends of the rink?
Well, first off, I think I'm pretty fortunate to play with 2 great players. Ray Camp just coming from college, and Ian Waters has been here for a few years, and we got to play a lot together last year. So, I think it's just a lot of we're clicking together early in the season, and we're working hard at both ends of the rink. And I think something that's making us successful is we're kind of buying into our roles, and we want to go out there and work hard and kind of give a boost to the team.
Now, with your background, and you played on a national championship union team in 2014, correct? I always think that's the greatest line in sports. It's the in basketball it's the Final Four, in hockey it's the Frozen Four, which is perfect. But you probably haven't played a lot of shutdown lines before coming to Reading, or did you? Am I mistaken?
No, in college, I was kind of a top line guy, but at the same time, that's still, not far off the role that I played in college, kind of a hardworking, aggressive player that kind of, went to the dirty areas. So, coming to Reading wasn't very far off, I kind of fit right in and, tried to do the best I can to help the team.
It was kind of interesting because you were with Reading for what, like 39, 40 games last year, and you signed with Orlando in August, and you were a late cut. I don't know what they were thinking. Did they just have, I guess, too many bodies, right?
Yeah, it was. They had a lot of guys. I went to Toronto's American League camp, and they had a lot of guys there, and they sent us all down to Orlando, and I think they had 13 or 14 guys on American League contracts. So, sometimes that just, that happens in this league is, there's a lot of guys and a lot of bodies. And, at the end of the day, they, Orlando has an obligation, and, you just kind of, you got to work hard from there.
But it was kind of fortunate, because I know Coach Larry Corville, he thought about claiming you off waivers. And then apparently he wanted to decide he wanted to see whether you wanted to re-sign here in Reading. And it was interesting because you somehow slipped through waivers, ECHL waivers, which it's amazing that no one else picked you up. So you re-signed with Reading, and in retrospect, it's probably the best thing that happened for you.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of, a great thing. Larry was the first coach to call me. He respected, what my decision might want to be, by letting me slip through waivers. And, like I said, it was just, gave me the opportunity to kind of figure out where I'd fit best. And, at the end of the day, I think, coming back to Reading and having a second-year experience here is really helping me.
And you're more comfortable in the environment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, kind of your, sophomore year, you're able to, I got my first, rookie year out of the way, and, coming in, the coaching staff, the players, the system. So it's much easier to get in and kind of, get the ball rolling.
So what happened? Why weren't you just coming back to Reading automatically? Was that your choice, or why was it you signing it with Orlando, which I think was not until August, correct? What happened in the offseason?
I had kind of been under the impression that I might be coming back with the Philadelphia organization. That kind of fell through last minute, so it was kind of a mad dash at that point to kind of.
So it was more on the Philadelphia level.
Yeah. My agent had been working. I was under the impression that I'd be heading back in this area. It didn't work out, which sometimes that falls through in this sport. So. It's kind of just go from there and try and, figure it out as soon as possible, really.
I think an undersold value that professional athletes have to have is acceptance of what the business is. And you can't necessarily take it personal, and you can't let it mess with your confidence, correct? You just have to move on and do the best you can wherever you are.
Yeah, I think especially, in this league, you have to be very mentally tough. There's a lot of things that aren't in your control, and you just kind of gotta, look at those things, accept them, and kind of wash them away. And, really, that's something that I learned a lot in college is you can only, work with what's in your control. And, sometimes in hockey, it's a business first.
Obviously, I'm sure your goals are pretty high. I mean, you'd like to play in the NHL someday, and where do you think you're at on your track? Are you happy with? Obviously, you have to be happy with the way you're playing right now, but what are your? How do you assess your chances moving up? What's your goals?
Obviously, any hockey player playing, anywhere wants to play in the NHL. But for me, I think I'm an older guy, but I think I'm still developing. I think I still have things to learn.
Older, define older.
I'm 25, so
You
that
look
might
like
be a
about
little
18,
older. That might be a
right.
little older.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still developing. I think there's still things about the game I need to learn. Still be a little more consistent, and obviously. Be prepared if I do get called up.
And what are you working on individually to improve your game?
In practices, I go in every day, kind of with a plan. We practice a lot in, a 72-game season, so it's tough to be prepared every day. But, usually every day I go in with a plan, whether it be working on my hands, working on my shot, working on things down low, things that I need to improve on, on a day-to-day basis.
You're in a league where there's awful bus rides. What do you do on a bus? I mean, are you're on your iPhone or your iPad?
Yeah, it's a lot of entertainment devices. We got some movies sometimes. Sometimes we got a great radio crew that comes. They like to tell jokes and stuff. Card games, anything to kill the time.
How important is it to have good camaraderie with your teammates? Because you spend so much time together in tight spots,
Yeah, I think it's very important. You got a lot of guys, you're together pretty much every day of the week, 24/7. So, you live with the same guys. So I think it's very important. I think so far we got a great set of guys, and, that's a tribute to the coaching staff as well, that they bring in character guys.
Because there's a lot of pressure. I mean, you're competing against other teams, but you're also competing, I guess, your teammates, but you're also competing with them for playing time and things like that.
Yeah, I think, you see that really in any sport. You're always competing against a guy, and, I think that's good for the sport is, you're pushing guys to get better, and, that's how you win games.
How lucky or fortunate have you been with injuries? You haven't really had too many injuries in your career?
No, not too much. Last year, a couple injuries. That was kind of new for me. A few injuries in college, with groins and, kind of nagging injuries. But, other than that, I, try and really work hard in the off season, so I'm, prepared.
What do you enjoy most about playing hockey?
I think it's just kind of like the freedom to go out there and, enjoy the ice and, kind of, escape from everything and jump out there and be with your friends. And, I think it's a game that, is unlike others where you have a group of 18 guys that really come together. And
it's so, you obviously need endurance. I mean, how far, because obviously hockey players are running out line changes all the time, but how far do you think you skate in a given game, maybe in terms of distance? Can you equate it?
That's that's a tough one. I think in terms of mileage, who knows? But in the off season, you're always doing sprints, and so you're prepared for things like that. But it's definitely takes a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina. And, especially in this league, only playing 3 lines, it makes it a little bit tougher.
Hey, well, keep up the great work. If you keep playing like this, who knows where your path will lead you on ice, and enjoy the ride. And thank you so much for being on the show, Matt.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you having me.
And that's Reading Royals forward Matt Hatch, and this is Zeke signing off.
Want to know more about who's doing what in Berks County? Check out the stories on thepeoplechronicles.com.